I was attending an event for Governor Hogan in Annapolis last week, and the banner across the back of the stage read, "What a difference a year makes." The governor then took the stage and discussed what changes had occurred at the state level since he was inaugurated. Driving back from that event late Thursday night, I replayed the events of the last year at the college and decided that that title, "What a Difference a Year Makes," would be the subject of this semester's State of the College address. So we're going to start with strategic planning. Last year at this time, we were silent on the matter of developing a new strategic plan. This year, we're fully engaged in developing a new strategic plan that will go into effect next year. The Strategic Planning Steering Committee has worked very hard to engage members of the campus community via large and small group meetings, electronically, and via a SWOT analysis, and refining the college's mission, vision, core values, as well as developing the goals and measurable objectives for a new 3-year strategic plan. The measurable objectives available for review on the strategic planning webpage will be presented to the Board of Trustees this weekend, while the Strategic Plan Steering Committee actively works to define the metrics we will use to evaluate progress towards meeting our goals and objectives, as well as the associated budgets. Our target is to have the strategic plan vetted by internal and external stakeholders before submitting it to the trustees for approval at their May board meeting. I want to take this opportunity to thank all who have participated in this effort to date and ask you to please remain engaged. A special thanks to the Strategic Planning Steering Committee members, Sarah Crumling, Kevin Emerson, Iris Ford, Lorraine Glidden, Juliette Hewitt, Angela Johnson, Armenta Plater, Larry Vogt, Libby Williams, and Derek Young. At this point last year, we were planning the activities to celebrate our 175th anniversary. The year was filled with activities focused on celebrating the past while we forge our future. We were graced by lectures, presentations, and performances by faculty, staff, and students, as well as renowned individuals such as Alan Johnson, Tim Wise, Angela Davis. We concluded our 175th anniversary series of events the week of November 19th. Highlights of that week were the performance of The Crossroads on Common Ground, which was a play, an engaging and thought-provoking performance by spoken word artist and scholar Clint Smith, and the awarding of the Trailblazer Award to President Ted Lewis. The Crossroads performance was especially powerful and timely. It was an original play written by Professor Emerita Meredith Taylor that integrated the histories of St. Mary's County and the college with modern-day perceptions of where we as an institution are today in regards to matters of race, inclusion, and equity. The upshot was and is that we have much to do, but there is hope. Last year at this time, we started the semester with dark clouds overhead. There were several incidents that had arisen the previous semester that gave us pause and made us look at what we were doing to create and sustain an environment that is diverse, inclusive, and welcoming for all. I announced a series of activities, later termed the IDES initiatives, to address the issues we were experiencing and to be proactive in having systems, services, people, and activities in place to facilitate our reaching our inclusivity goal. The initiatives were being led by Sybil Anderson, who was chair of the Campus Culture Policies and Programming Group, Robin Bates, Chair of Civility and Embodiment of our Ethos Group, Antonio Uguez, who replaced Beth Rushing as Chair of Education and Training Work Group, and Leonard Brown, Chair of both Sexual Misconduct and Hate Bias Work Groups. The past year has been tremendously busy for all of those groups working separately and together to accomplish our goals. I will just highlight a few of the activities that they've been engaged in and invite you to go to the new webpage for the IDES initiative that will be unveiled next week. The Campus Culture Policies and Programming Work Group has conducted a Thrive analysis focus groups to try to assess how well our campus constituents are thriving, the factors that contribute to a person thriving on this campus, and what we can do as a community to enhance an individual's ability to thrive here. The Thrive survey was administered to students, faculty, and staff in the fall. The work group is planning a series of forums to share the survey results and to discuss next steps. One thing that has come out of their work is a recommendation for an Office of Equity and Diversity. This recommendation is congruent with the recommendation from the Education and Training Work Group, as well as separate formal requests from several student organizations, the Staff Senate, and 4 of the strategic planning work groups that have all recommended that the college hires an individual whose sole responsibility is to lead and coordinate our diversity and equity efforts. I want to thank all of you for supporting this initiative. The Education and Training Work Group has offered a series of webinars and online trainings examining racial climate on college campuses, and they've offered a screening of Vocabulary of Change, a 2012 dialogue between Tim Wise and Angela Davis. The Hate and Bias Work Group has constituted the Bias Response Team, and it is now active. The college has launched a new bystander intervention program called Step Up. MAP has hosted a forum addressing issues of diversity and equity. The SGA has established a committee to examine cultural relations within the college community in collaboration with MAP. Hundreds within our campus community participated in the Black Student Union Latinos Unidos Solidarity March. I take this as a sign that members of our campus community are finding their voices to speak about issues of race, equity, and diversity and inclusion in a peaceful and respectful manner. And we successfully initiated race monologues, and Crossroads was a tremendous success. We have a lot happening in the areas of diversity, equity, and inclusion. We have recruited Alan Johnson as our advisor in these efforts. We are not where we should be, but we are off to a really good start. And if the way the various leaders on this campus have come out, rolled up their sleeves, and offered to help is any indication of our future, I have no doubt, though the ascent may be long and challenging, we will successfully scale this mountain and be the inclusive and welcoming environment we know we must be. At this time last year, we were in the throes of putting the final touches on our Middle States Self-Study Report in preparation for the site visit that occurred last semester. Thank you to those who participated in that process. The evaluation team found that we met all state and federal regulations of higher education. They lauded our retention and graduation rates and the success of our students in graduate and professional schools. The team was very complimentary of how bright and engaged our students are. And they recognized the commitment of our faculty and staff to maintain our programming quality and high standards for our students in spite of the enrollment challenges we've had in recent past. All of these things are reflections of the excellence we know to be St. Mary's College. The team's review focused on 14 accreditation standards, such as the college's leadership and governance, our planning and resource allocation, and our student admission and retention. Overall, the report was positive. It did note that we fell short in one of the 14 areas, and that is how well we assess learning outcomes. We had already recognized we needed to do more on this standard, and we have begun next steps. We've hired an outstanding provost who has extensive assessment experience. I met with the faculty last week, and we, the new provost and I, outlined a process for ensuring we build a lasting assessment infrastructure at this college. And consultants will be assisting us with training faculty and staff and help us develop the tools and infrastructure to be able to show the great work we're doing in assessment here, or that students are really learning. So let me underscore that the finding that we have not explicitly demonstrated learning outcomes in no way reflects upon the quality of the education our students receive or the value of their degree. The Middle States Evaluation Team states in its report that St. Mary's College is, and I quote, a strong institution that serves its students well, end quote. The report also noted, quote, there is so much good work going on here. The college simply needs to document it, assess it more directly, end quote. With our new provost, working with our strong faculty, staff, and other experts, we will address the issue the evaluation team has raised in a timely and comprehensive manner. I will keep our campus community updated on St. Mary's College's progress as we, a community of extraordinary faculty and staff, continue to educate extraordinary students. Last year at this time, Lorraine Glidden, she doesn't smile like that much anymore. Lorraine Glidden was announced as the interim vice president for academic affairs, dean of faculty. We were initiating the search for the position of provost and dean of faculty. The person in this position has administrative authority over the faculty, as well as responsibilities that extend beyond academic affairs. Although the timing of our national search for this position last year was late, I believe we would find someone to fill this key position in the college leadership. Well, as you know, we failed to identify the right person for the job. We regrouped, refined the process, and got off to an early start at the beginning of this academic year with the goal of having someone signed by Thanksgiving. I am very pleased to announce that the search was successfully concluded on time with the hire of Dr. Michael Wick as the new provost and dean of faculty. Dr. Wick, who is currently Associate Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs and Dean of Graduate Studies at the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire, is a professor of computer science and an excellent example of the teacher-scholar model we value. His years of experience as an administrator and his passion for the liberal arts will be invaluable to our community. Many of you have had the opportunity to interact with Mike since the announcement, and you will continue to see him and work with him from time to time up to and through his official start date of July 1, 2016. I want you to know that I'm working very hard to make sure that we see Mike at least twice a month or 3 times a month between now and then. This job is incredibly important to us, and the transition needs to be smooth. And we always talk about new people coming in and hitting the ground running. Mike cannot hit the ground running He must float above the ground and fly come July 1. So I thank Professor Glidden for coming out of retirement to hold down the fort while we search for a new provost, and appreciate all she's done in this position. Last year at this time, we had received word of the governor's budget and were happy that he had restored and mandated funding cut that the outgoing administration had levied across state agencies, including higher ed. Our task during the legislative session was to assure the legislators who have supported the college for many years and provided funds for us to reduce in-state college tuition by 8.5% and then hold it flat last year, that we were grateful for their support and that we would remain good stewards of our state funding. Sounds like the ice cream truck man. All right. So this year, the governor's budget includes full funding of our proposed operating budget, for which we are very thankful. Additionally, we're slated to receive funding for much-needed infrastructure improvements. That means the capital projects. First, we've received a $2.7 million grant to provide funding over the course of 2 years that will allow us to make much-needed IT infrastructure improvements. I want to thank our good friend over there, Chris Birch, for working with Chip and the team for getting that grant written in a timely fashion, and that we got that money for that. Everybody's going to be happy. We appreciate, you just don't know how much I appreciate this. The total cost of this project, which includes upgrades to the wireless network and a new enterprise resource project management system, will be approximately $3.8 million. But we have the money, and that is the good thing. And they're going to start working on developing and implementing this transition very soon. Secondly, for the first time that any of us can remember, and any of us really is only one person, and that's Chip, we have received funds for the state for infrastructural improvement. The governor supports our requests for $10 million over the next 4 years for some infrastructural improvements, such as a sidewalk on Trinity Church Road. Let us rejoice and be exceedingly glad. And what makes me even happier, new windows for Calvert Hall so that we don't freeze to death when it's cold. So what is even more exciting is the third capital project that's in the budget for this year. The major capital project we've been working on for about a decade, which is the new academic building with 700-seat auditorium and a new athletic complex, remains fully funded and on schedule in the governor's budget to begin the design phase in FY 2017. This is a huge game changer for the college. The new academic building will provide much needed space for academic programs in Goodpaster Hall, provide improved space for the Department of Music and the Performing Arts, afford a larger space for performances, lectures, and seminars, and equally important, serve to enhance economic development in Southern Maryland. The new athletic fields and sports complex was going to provide, as you know, turf fields and grass. Are those one and the same? I always think so. Turf and artificial turf, how about that? Real and not real, that's even simpler. Fields for our students to play on and to be the true champions that they are will bring us on par with our other conference competitors, and allow us, believe it or not, to have a night game every now and then, because we're going to put some real lights around those fields and not just have some candles. And so having this athletic complex is really going to enhance our ability to attract stellar scholar athletes to our college. And this is major for us, and I want to thank the team that's been working on that for all this time to keep that moving forward, because I know it's a lot of work. I've only been working with you on this for a year and a half, and I'm just like, right? One of these days we're going to get that stuff through there faster. As you are all aware, we have been focused our fundraising efforts on raising the $2.5 million we need to secure this new construction. I believe the governor has shown us that he believes we will raise the money because of the great progress we've made towards this effort in the last year, which is we've raised $1.32 million. Somewhere around there. The advancement team is heading into the final phase of fundraising. I thank all of you who have given to this effort thus far. As you are aware, on December 1st, 2015, we had the most successful Giving Tuesday event in the college's history. It was a day that we started out with this really big target of $30,000 to be raised within 24 hours and to have 300 donors. We surpassed that goal by around noon. Every time the advancement team raised the goal, and I was a little bit nervous, because you don't want to not hit your goal, the St. Mary's College of Maryland community, both near and far, met the challenge. By the end of that historic 24-hour period, we had 581 donors to give over $66,000 to the college, and the majority of it went towards the new construction. And so I thank the advancement team for all of your hard work. And so I say advancement and not just development, because it was alumni affairs, it was the marketing people, it was everybody, and the president sitting in her office cheering you on, but we did good there. So I, with the other members of our team, will continue to lobby and work with our legislators and the governor to secure funding for our operating and capital budgets. We will also continue to work with our county commissioners who have been supportive of our campus efforts to raise awareness of the economic and cultural implications of this project in Southern Maryland. I ask that you all continue to help in any way that you can to make this project a reality. And speaking of help, I want to send a special thank you to Carrie Patterson and Troy Towson and their students who presented at our legislative reception last night, showcasing their great works here at the college. This type of collaborative effort goes a very long way in helping demonstrate to the state the superb educational experience students receive here. They and recent alumna Mia Bullock did us proud, and I want you to say that we always talk about how this place where we are is a hidden gem in the state. And sometimes even our local community are not aware of what we do at this college. But yesterday, the presentations by those faculty and their students had our local legislators beaming with pride that we're in their jurisdiction, and that you could see that though they have supported us in the past, they're going to support us even more vocally going forward, because they understand all the good that happens here, and we really appreciate our legislators' support. At this time last year, the new Arundel Hall was essentially a gigantic hole in the ground. This year, like a phoenix, it has risen from the dust and is magnificent. And every day it looks more magnificent. And I'll be glad when they start banging and pulling up dust. I keep saying that, right? Because, you know, it gets my car dirty and I have to keep going to the car wash. So I would say that if you think about we the people at this college, there were times last year when we were just stressed. And that sometimes our morale got a little bit low. But I think as a community, we are turning the corner, and people are listening to each other and trying to help each other. We've had a group of individuals on this campus that have felt disenfranchised and not connected to the college and unappreciated. And that we have worked with that group to try to listen to their needs and their wants and to address them. And so I would say that in a couple of weeks or so, you will hear about some major projects that have occurred for our staff to provide them with the much needed resources and flexibility and things that they need to do their work, continue to do their work well, and to feel really proud about what they're doing. And you all know that last semester we were able to present full-time individuals, our employees here, with a one-time bonus close to the holiday time. And it was just an expression of how much we appreciate all that you do for the college, and we will continue to work hard to show you in various ways how much we appreciate what you do. So I want to just give some accolades very quickly. Goodness. The college community has a continued sense of progress when you compare where we were last year to where we are today. What a difference a year makes. There are individuals and groups working together to help make St. Mary's College of Maryland be the best institution it can be on every level for everyone. We have much to acknowledge and celebrate as we continue to work to increase the visibility of the campus and to provide our students with the best experience they possibly can. I want to highlight just a few of our community's successes. Christine Adams, professor of history, is co-editor of a new book, Female Beauty Systems, Beauty as Social Capital in Western Europe and the United States, Middle Ages to Present. She's also penned an op-ed in Education Week entitled, Let the Past Inform Our Understanding of the Present, which is about teaching amidst trauma. Chuck Adler, professor of physics, was the recipient of the 2015 Science Communication Award for Best Science Writing in Books from the American Institute of Physics. His book was entitled Wizards, Aliens, and Starships, Physics and Math in Fantasy and Science Fiction. Batul Basaran, in Religious Studies, is responsible for the college being awarded the prestigious National Endowment for the Humanities grant for a seminar entitled Transcending Boundaries, the Ottoman Empire, Europe, and the Mediterranean World, 1500 to 1800. The program will convene from June 20th to July 15th and will bring scholars from around the world to our campus. We have some heroes. Public safety officers, Lori Brasco pulled an individual from a burning vehicle that had crashed on Mattaponi. It was in December, and she was assisted by Angeline Colas. So when you see officers Brasco and Colas, you tell them, well done for that really heroic effort. Original music compositions of David Froome, professor of music, were performed in Boston, Tokyo, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. Liza Hihato, don't tell her I messed up her name. Okay? who is an assistant professor of anthropology, has been awarded funding for her project, Cremona Collections Curation and National Register Preparations. Susan Goldstein, professor of mathematics, has been tapped as an associate editor for the Journal of Mathematics and the Arts, which is a peer-reviewed journal that focuses on, can you guess? Connections between mathematics and art. The Mid-Atlantic Association of College and University Housing Officers established the Joanne Goldwater Senior Level Professional Award in recognition of lifetime achievement of Joanne Goldwater, our Associate Dean of Students and Director of Residence Life. Walter Hill, Professor of Political Science, had an op-ed published in the Baltimore Sun entitled, Remember the Non-Muslim Terrorists. Julie King, Professor of Anthropology, was awarded another grant for her project entitled Identifying and Representing the Nanjemoy Creek Watershed Indigenous Cultural Landscape. National Association of Campus Activities awarded Clint Neal, Assistant Director of Student Activities, the Outstanding Professional Award for the Mid-Atlantic region. Congratulations to all of these individuals. Our Ethics Bowl team goes to the Nationals on February 21st. They are coached by Associate Professor Michael Tabor and includes 4 students, Viveka Advani, Matt Flyer, Robert Bishop, Stern Christian, 5 students, and Lauren Theriault. When you see those students, tell them, well done. Our scholar athletes have, for the 8th consecutive year, led the Capital Athletic Conference, with 56.5 of them being on the all-academic team. And St. Mary's College, more than 150 alumni have participated in our anniversary tours created by the advancement team, with the aim of engaging alumni as well as goodwill ambassadors for the college and to assist in helping to recruit the students. Enrollment Management partnered with Advancement and hosted these students, and I'm telling you, we were in Baltimore County, Prince George's County, Boston, and New York, and the reception has been tremendous, and our alumni are really working hard for us, and we should thank them for their efforts and that of our team. So this past year, we have celebrated the past while we forged the future. As I look back on the past year, I see evidence that our present position is strong, and it grows stronger every day. What a difference a year makes, and I look forward to the ascent. Thank you for your attention. I will take any questions you might have. No questions? Any comments? All right then, you guys have a terrifically wonderful Thursday, and I thank you for coming to this. Uh-oh. It's Lorraine. Yes?
I have a comment. What was missing from this are many of the activities that you engaged in, representing the college all over the country, including in the Mid-Atlantic region and elsewhere. And so it's your modesty that left those out, but I think we need a separate listing just for the activity of our president.
Thank you, Lorraine. So I don't know if it's modesty or not wanting to get beat up, right? Because I do a lot. I speak and chair a lot of national committees, but I think that I try to focus on what everybody else is doing, right? Because that should be the expectation of the president, but I appreciate your bringing that up, truly. All right, so one of these days we'll have a State of the Tawanda address. And, anyway, thank you, Lorraine, and everyone. Have a great week.